All right, everybody, it's Coach Sainer. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I know this is weird. You guys are stuck at home, most of you. You guys aren't able to play with your club team. I'm not able to see you at the gym or the school. But it's time for us to start getting better. There's a lot of ways to get better, even though you're not playing or working with your skills coach. We're going to go over a couple things right now, and I'll send these out periodically and have little updates for you. But this is a really good chance to get better because you guys got more time on your hands and you know what to do with. And so, again, I always say, who's getting better right now? You know, your NBA 2K player or you? And if it's your NBA 2K player, then you're not going to be too happy once the season starts or once we start summer stuff and everything like that. So use this time to get better. It's a really good opportunity if you know what to practice. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to go over shooting today, all right? Basic stuff. If you're a right-handed shooter, legs are a little bit wider than your feet are a little wider than your shoulders, just a little bit. Your right foot's just a little bit ahead of your left foot if you're a right-handed shooter. Now, flexing the legs, you gotta get lift on every shot. But the most important key components are these, in my opinion. You gotta have a target. For me, it's always the ring that's holding up the net that's directly on my line. That's my target. A lot of the new rims now, they don't have this. They have the cable that goes around, and so the net just pinches here. And so on a net like at Meridian High School, it would look like this. That's fine. Just use that as your target. Now the next thing is, what do you do with that target? Most of us, if we leave ourselves alone, we will hit what we look at. All right? So if I'm looking at the front of the rim and I shoot it, a lot of times guys will miss it short because they're hitting what they're looking at. So you have to say, okay, now I've got to follow through, and you have to simulate your follow through as if your hand is going over your target, okay? Reaching into the cookie jar, everybody's heard that one, but you've got to simulate this, not this. Now, the next step is, how do we get good rotation on our shot? The first way to do it is get your 3-finger drill, all right? You should be able to hold the ball here like this with 3 fingers, resting it on this ring finger on your right hand, and then just lift it up and work on your follow through. And that's the best way to get your follow through locked in, because ideally you want to follow through with these 2 fingers. All right? If your hands are really small, go ahead and go to 3 fingers and rest it on this your pinky, and then just work on that, and that will get you this perfect backspin. You don't want the ball spinning diagonal, you don't want it spinning this way, you want that thing spinning directly back, right? So as you reach and you snap over your target, that ball should be rotating like this as it goes in. Now, how do we shoot it? For most of you guys, you're getting between the in-between stage of shooting it from your chest to shooting it, right around a little bit above your eyes, and that's fine. But to me, it doesn't matter. All right, where your release point is. The release point to me is, when does that ball stop going up and start going out? That's my release point, all right? It doesn't matter to me where that is, because it's all gonna be based on your individual strength. So don't try to put it somewhere. Don't think, okay, I want my release point to be here, because you might shoot farther away and you need to drop it here. So how do you shoot it? First thing you do, right, is you put your thumb somewhere in between, or lined up in between your pointer finger and your other thumb, all right? I want these fingers on laces, and I want this thumb just kind of pointing at my middle knuckle of my right hand, okay? Right hand pointer finger. And then when I come up, I'm in good shooting position. Now, neither one of my hands am I letting the ball touch the palm. The ball is touching my fingertips and my pads, all right, at the base of my fingers. On my non-shooting hand, it's pretty much just all fingers. A lot of you guys still have the ball in your palm, because that is how you get power. The more you move it up to your fingertips, the more you have to have actual leg and arm strength to get the ball to the basket. But we're here, and I should just be able to do this, all right? If I'm coming from the side, maybe I want to get my hand under a little earlier and bring it up this way with my hand under earlier, but I can just do this for practice to make sure that I'm holding the ball correctly. If I get my hand under, no problem. My release point might be here. My release point might be here. All right, that's all the individual strength. Now, the next piece is, what do we do with this guide hand? When it's all said and done, the guide hand is really just there to make sure the ball doesn't go this way. So when I'm here and I go up and out, my guide hand pretty much stays here. But I like my guide hand to stay connected, almost like I've got, a string wrapping my wrists together. So they stay close. And my guide hand actually touches. I don't force it, but my guide hand actually comes over this way as opposed to falling away. Because you watch a lot of guys shoot now and they do this. All right? Well, I don't know. Maybe one time I did it perfect. The next time I did it a little bit to the right. The next time I did it a little bit to the left. If I'm doing this every time, I really don't know what my shot is doing. So I want to lock that thing in and repeat it over and over and over so I know exactly when I miss what the correction needs to be. The other thing is, a lot of you guys still, when you're young, because everybody wants to go out way too early and shoot three-pointers, is you start flicking it, you get a little extra power with this thumb. And most people don't even know they're doing it. Shoot yourself from the front, right? Video yourself from the front, and then watch it in slow motion. If your hand ends up facing the basket, I promise you, you're getting some help with your thumb. The way to fix that, really simple. Doesn't take anything more than a penny, but I've got a dime. Stick a dime in between your thumb and the fat pad of your hand there, all right? And then just work on that. And it'll take that thumb out of your shot almost automatically. If you don't have a penny, no problem. This is almost as effective. Make the number 4. Same deal. All right? But that thumb is going to take away consistency because now you're basically shooting a two-hand shot. The last piece for me is arm angle. What arm angle should you shoot at? To me, it's really simple. This is parallel to the ground. This is perpendicular to the ground. You want to be somewhere, above 45%. Again, that depends on how far you're shooting from, but you want that ball to land softly as it's going into the basket. You don't want to come in at a shallow angle, and you don't want to come in at a super steep angle. You want it to go just high enough to get over the front of this rim. All right? Leave your hand up until the ball goes in. Practice your 3-hand or your 3-finger follow through. Just practice out while you're sitting and watching TV. All right, because it doesn't take long to become a really, really good shooter. Leave your hand up until the ball goes in. Keep your eye on your target until the ball goes in. A lot of people will shoot it and then look at the ball. And that, to me, it makes no sense. It's like me throwing a ball to somebody and then looking to see where the ball is. If that's where I want to throw it, then I'm just going to look there. After that, shooting is really, really simple, but you got to get it down. You got to get these repetitions down and these correct repetitions down over and over and over again before you're ever going to really, really become a great shooter. So time is on our side right now. Let's practice the right things. Let's don't just go into the gym and start casting up shots and thinking that that's going to take us there. You have to have proper mechanics, and once you have proper mechanics, then you have proper repetitions, and once you have proper repetitions, you're going to have a knockdown jump shot.